Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this great email that was sent from a subscriber, and this is all about a guy who goes some really hard times when after college, his girlfriend, or shall I say his fiancee, dumps him because he doesn't get a job fast enough for her. She got a job pretty quickly out of college, but he didn't right away, and she treated him like he was a lazy bum. In fact, that she called him that. Dumps him out of nowhere, even though they've been together for years. And this guy goes through some hard times, but nevertheless, he perseveres, gets a great job, busts his butt, and now he's doing great. And he tells this story, I believe he's 33 or 34 years old, so he's reflecting on what happened when he was out of college, so mid-20s, I'd say. And now he's in a great place, making great money, good position in his company. He's going someplace, dating a bunch of girls in the rotation. And as you're going to see, guys, the icing on the cake is, the cherry on top is, wait till you see who comes and knocking to him years later looking to get back with him. Wait to see what happens. And it's really a great story of success, persevering during hard times, and not to mention karma to those that screw you over. Great story. And not to mention a lot of lessons in here, which I will point out. So I'm going to jump right into it. He says, Hi, Strong Successful Male. I'm an avid viewer of your channel, and I would like to share a story with you that would help encourage your viewers and help them through trying times. Well, bro, thank you for sending this story, because I guarantee you this will help out some guys that are going through tough times and motivate guys that are trying to better themselves. He says, 7 years ago, and he's 32 years old, was engaged to a girl named Amber, 33-year-old female. And he says this is a fake name. We were high school sweethearts and went all the way through college. We got engaged 2 weeks after we finished our final year. Engaged right out of college, a little early, my man. Not so good, but ultimately things will work out the way they should be, but still way too early. Even though you've been together since high school, but you never really experienced much. That's way too young. Way too young. Well, first of all, you know my opinion about marriage to begin with in 2021, how things are. But if you're going to do it, wait until you're older. Anyhow. However, after we graduated, I found myself having trouble finding a job while she got into her dream company, and he says some fashion or entertainment magazine, right out of college. While she was supportive of me for the first few months, it quickly turned sour, and we started having a lot of arguments about it. So, you got engaged right out of college, you moved in together. Now, I tell you guys that if you're going to move in with your girlfriend, only do it if you're actually planning on getting married. And again, you know my opinion about marriage, but it is what it is. Because any other reason, there's no reason to do it. Save yourself a whole lot of hassle and drama. But if you're going to get married, you got to do a test run to see what it's going to be like. Because essentially, moving with your girl, you're playing house. You're playing like a pretend marriage. And you're going to see, guys, that it turns out to be a good thing that he did this to see what she's really like. So that's lots of arguments because she got her job and she expects him to have a job. But it's taking him a little bit longer because he just got out of college, which happens to a lot of people. He says, our fight stemmed from the fact that I was being he says in quotes, jobless bum while she was working her ass off. I reminded her that I was still freelancing and that I contributed to our apartment's rent and utilities, but unfortunately, this wasn't enough for her as we didn't go on expensive dates or vacations anymore. So this guy's doing what he can. He's freelancing while he's looking for a good job that's obviously with his what he went to school for, but he's bringing enough to take care of the necessities, the rent and the bills, okay? But she's pissed because she figures since she has this great job and she's bringing in more money, therefore, if he's not doing the same, he's not a real man, and she deserves better. So again, guys, see about the whole hypergamy thing? So much, and also see how the BS about the whole feminism thing about how, a woman can make a bunch of money and take care of a guy, or she can make more and he can make less, and everything's okay, and it should be that way. Well, that's not going to, this ideological bullshit from the feminist movement is not going to trump nature. And they all want a guy that can not only provide, but can also do better than them. So, they're fighting. No surprise there. Even though this guy's doing the best he can, trust me, he'd love to have that job that he wants, but he just hasn't gotten there yet. So, a great trial run, like I told you, about living together to see what she's really like. All the fights, all the drama and the arguments. And they can do cheap dates. Come on, they're supposed to be engaged. Where's the support? This is supposed to be his future wife, and she's calling him a lazy bum because he can't get that job right away and he's doing his best. Real supportive future wife, huh? That's why it's a test run, living together with your soon-to-be wife if you're going to do that. Anyhow, she would compare me to her coworkers, her friends' boyfriends, and even some goddamn reality TV show people trying to motivate me to be as financially stable as them. Comparing you to reality TV people, reality TV is a bunch of crap. It's all staged. Okay, give me a break here. But she's young, in her 20s, and impressionable, and buys into that nonsense. And comparing you to her friends' boyfriends, I mean, that is just not cool. But that's what women would do. To give you guys a kick in the ass, they're going to drop hints and things like that. But she's doing the hinting, but she's also fighting and arguing. Real loving and supportive, huh? I really love this woman. That's why I tried so hard to make it work and just take all the crap, hoping that it would all work out. But at the end of 2015, she broke up with me and moved out of the apartment. There you go. This guy's really trying. He's been together with her since high school. Thought everything was great. They get into the real world where you got to pay the bills and all that. And because he doesn't have the full-time job like she does, and she's feeling superior, and that he's not as much of a man as she, in her mind, that she deserves, whoosh, he's toast. So much for the loving, supportive future wife, huh? But in my opinion, this had to happen for him to learn and see her true colors. Imagine this happened when they got married, okay? Then you have to go through the whole divorce process because she'd leave him. He dodged a bullet here. But I want to mention something right here, guys, because this, aside from telling the story, I give lessons and try to help guys out with things I want to teach. He said here, I really love this woman. That's why I tried so hard to make it work and just take all her crap, hoping they would all work out. Guys, when a woman treats you with disrespect, she speaks to you, starts fights, drama, treats you like crap, if you just put up with it and keep quiet and look down and have your tail between your legs, she's going to lose more respect for you and treat you more like crap. You don't do that. You don't let anybody talk down to you and treat you disrespect, but you certainly don't let your lady, for you relationship guys. That's only going to make it worse, okay? You don't tolerate it. But he was trying to do appeasement. When in history has appeasing an aggressor ever worked? Never. They lose respect for you, see you as weak, and they either, in her case, leave your ass, or in world history, military history, they attack and take over. Look at World War II. Anyhow, so he says, I still remember that Christmas as it was the most painful time in my life. I was far from home with no friends or family to be with, but I promised myself at that moment that I would never see myself in this situation ever again. Good for you, man. A lot of guys would just taken off and gone back home and live with mom and dad. And it would be somewhat understandable if they didn't have a way to pay the bills and all. But this guy, he said, that's it. I'm never going to be in a situation like this again. I will bust my butt and find a way. That is masculine energy. That's what I want all you guys to be if you're not already there just yet. Perfect example. And this is great. Wait till you see what this guy does, how this goes forward. He says, I worked extremely hard for almost 2 years until I got my first full-time job that wasn't freelancing or contractual work. And I started to establish myself in my industry. And he says in parentheses, I was an aspiring project manager for a production company. Great, man. Guys, he focused on his purpose. He made everything else was not important. His main objective was obviously finding that job, making money, busting his butt so he could do a good job and put him in a good place in the company. Your purpose is your number one priority, guys. It has to be, especially early on, to get where you want to be, and that will lead you in the direction where you want to get. You bust your butt so you can get that good job, that good position, and then you start putting away money. You know, a lot of guys, when they get that job, they get out of college and they get that job, or maybe their business takes off, the second they start getting any money, they blow it on all this bullshit. They start buying really expensive designer clothes, expensive cars, make these high car payments that they can't afford, which, by the way, the car depreciates in value, so that's stupid. Expensive jewelry and watches and all this other stuff. An apartment, or in some cases a house that they can't afford, with the idea that, hey, the money will just keep coming in, right? Meanwhile, they have nothing, hardly any money to themselves. No, not even two nickels to rub together. So if that income stops, they lose their job or whatever, they're screwed. What they should do is you get that job or your business starts taking off, still live cheap and pay off any debts you may have, like credit card debts or old car loan or whatever. And if you need a new car, because maybe you've been driving the old clunker since high school, okay, you can get a new car, but you don't need to get a Mercedes S-Class or something like that. You need to put that money away, start investing it, putting in your IRA or contribute to your 401k at work, open a brokerage account, put in some good growth stocks that you can use for the future, not now. Live cheap. Invest that money, save it, pay off your debts. Don't be one of these dumbasses that the second they get that job in that good position, they start blowing on bullshit. Why would you lose that job? What happened to that income stream stops with a business if you started? You're screwed. Then they gotta repossess that freaking S-Class Mercedes. You gotta then go resell your expensive watch and jewelry and whatever. Stupid. Focus on your purpose and pay off your debts and save your money. Live cheap until you don't have to do it anymore. I should have mentioned that, guys. That's something that bugs me with a lot of people that start having success. Anyhow, he says, I push myself to the brink by taking long hours and overtime to make sure that me and my team succeed. You're a good leader. While my career skyrocketed, my social life declined. I dated around, but I never found anyone that I had any connection with. And I still found myself thinking of Amber, but I used my thoughts and feelings to push myself even harder. Yes. Think about how she left you, and that will push you. You know, guys, everybody responds to different things to motivate them. Some people by positive reinforcement, people cheering you on, saying you can do it. Other people need negative reinforcement, their enemies. People that say they can't do it, that pushes them to move forward. Whatever works. He thought of his ex and what she did to him. That pushed him to work harder, make things happen quicker. Awesome. And it's normal for him to think about his ex. He was only with her for years in spite of how she treated him. I eventually got promoted to my current position, which had reduced hours with more pay, and I finally had time to live my life. I spent time with my buddies, reconnected with family, and found a rotation of friends, he says, on Tinder. My life up until then felt like it was a never-ending marathon, but now I had time to breathe and enjoy the scenery. Awesome. See, you've been rewarded. All the hard work you've been putting in for years, being on your grind. Now you got a better job with more money, and you have to put less into it right now so you can enjoy some stuff. Because you got to balance, guys. I'm all for being on your grind and busting your ass. Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to get somewhere, you got to do that. But try to reserve a little time. You got some time to yourself. Okay? Some time to go to the gym. Some time to hang out with your buddies. And he has his rotation of Tinderellas. They should be at the bottom of the list. I would say your purpose, that's number one priority. Then your health and fitness, gym, eating well. Then family/friends, if your family are a good family. And at the bottom, girls. Because you can always get girls, okay? And believe me, they'll chase you when you're not chasing them and you're chasing your purpose. For you guys to do dating and relationships. I know many of you guys know this, and he's learning that. Now we're going to come back to his ex-girlfriend. Now listen to this. Amber still popped up in my life here and there, but I never really made an effort to give her a multi-word response or meet up with her whenever she invited me over for coffee over the years. Probably due to resentment from her ending an almost decade-long relationship because of money. Dude, I'd have nothing to do with her. Nothing. But this is the perspective of a guy who's lived longer than you. I'm 43. I live long enough, I know better. You know, because you could go back with her and start old feelings maybe rekindled. You might start to forget how she treated you. She showed her true colors. There's no point. But you're going to see you need a little closure, and it's actually definitely, you're going to see. He says, around January this year, 2021, Amber asked if we could meet up again, and this time I accepted. I wanted closure for everything, and even though she burned me hard, she was my best friend. And he says, I'm past tense heavily implied. Well, yeah, she really treated you like a best friend, huh? You got out of college, you were just trying to get your new job, and you weren't there yet, and she just freaking tosses your ass to the side of the road? What does that say about her character? What does that say about her love for you? It wasn't love. Bullshit. That love is conditional if a guy can provide. A guy has a job. A guy has a certain status that they have. That's what it's about, at least with her, and sadly, a hell of a lot of majority of women nowadays. But then again, it kind of was always that way, let's be honest here. It says, we met up at the cafe near our old alma mater and had a really long conversation about our lives. Amber told me that after leaving me, she started to date one of her colleagues at her office, but it fizzled out fairly quickly due to him having commitment issues. Imagine that. Whoever would have thought that the second she left him, she already had a guy lined up like that? What I tell you guys, perfect example. There's always male orbiters. There's always backup. So that way they don't ever have to be alone. That's why women can just move on from guys like that. And guys are always scratching their heads saying, how could she move on so quickly? Didn't she ever care? She checked out a long time ago. She had a backup plan in place and went on to this dude. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were having relations before this even happened. But he wasn't committing to her. And after that guy who had commitment issues, and she just kept dating guy after guy when no one really messed with her. Riding the carousel. She couldn't find herself a good man, but she had a good man and she blew it. This made her start to think she was undateable and wanted to try to talk to me over the years, but understood why I've been so cold. Translation, she can't find herself a good guy, and as she's getting older, these type of guys that she wants aren't interested in her. So now after she's exhausted all her options, now she's going back to the guy who she tossed to the side of the road like garbage. Because, God forbid, he didn't have that job right out of college. He was trying. It was going to happen, like it did. But no, she's run out of options, so she's going back to him. Do you think this guy's dumb enough to get back with her? Oh, hell no. She says, this made her start to think that she was undateable and wanted to try to talk to me over the years, but understood why I've been so cold. She had a whole grand plan of getting married and then having kids by the age of 28. But here she was, 33, almost 34, single with no prospects of getting married anytime soon. Boo-hoo. She had a chance with this guy, a good guy, and she completely blew it. Nobody's feeling sorry for her. This is karma, my friends. This is a great story. This guy, he earned this. He earned everything he is right now, doing well for himself and having a good life, and earned knowing that life taught her a lesson. He says she still looks beautiful, but you could tell she was out of her prime. She's in her mid-30s. I'm sure she looks good, but she doesn't look as good as she did when she was 24 or 25. Her friends all have their own families, and now she got left behind. No. She didn't get left behind. She's the one that chose to leave. Don't even think, I don't think he feels bad for her, but in case he does, no way. She left. You were a good guy to her. You were great to her. According to her, dating for her has been rough as hookup culture is ruining her chances of finding a partner. She then asked me about how I fare in the dating market. This guy's prime is just beginning. A man's prime is his 30s and 40s, and in some cases early 50s. When he's rising on the totem pole, well, she's going down on the totem pole. How's he faring? Oh, if she only knew. When I told Amber about my new lifestyle, she was just making remarks and jabs about how I'm too old to be playing around and how I should look for someone to settle down with. Manipulation. She's pissed off that this guy's living the life and she's screwed up by getting rid of him, and now she's going to make him feel bad and try to manipulate him like he's the bad guy for actually having fun. I would certainly suggest he be careful with his Tinderellas. Always wear protection, I don't care how hot she is and how good it feels down south, and dispose of that protection. But you're having an awesome time. Good for you. At this point, I could tell she wanted to rekindle something, but I was playing dumb and she was losing patience. After a while, I asked for the bill and covered all of it myself. This surprised her, as the cafe we were in had insanely high prices, but I said, I'm fine. I had money to burn. Ha ha. Now, some people may say, screw her, she should have paid half the bill or whatever, but you know what? It just showed her, I got money. This isn't a big deal to me. And if you would have stuck with me and been supportive and loving like a good soon-to-be wife should be, you'd be benefiting from this. She'd be married to him, probably have a couple kids, and she wouldn't be alone and bitter. And I guarantee you, she's the type that probably writes these articles I go over and these stories about how there's no good men out there and blah, blah, blah. Mark my words. She's one of those. When she had a perfectly good opportunity with this great guy. See, guys? He says, Amber still texts me often and has even invited me out on dates, to which I either decline or say I'm busy another time. I do feel that I'm in the wrong for enjoying her attention. I do feel that I'm in the wrong for enjoying her attention and turning her down at every turn. But I feel like this is the universe's way of giving her karma. You're damn right it's the universe's way of giving her karma. And you know what? Don't feel bad. You've earned this. If you start feeling bad but with you taking enjoyment out of the fact that she's pursuing you after kicking you out, walking out on you and treating you like garbage prior to walking out on you, just remember that. Remember how you were feeling back then, okay? You don't have to feel bad at all. She brought this all on herself. To the men who find themselves in my position, don't worry about your love life or relationships with women. Focus on your purpose and everything else will come naturally. So there you go, guys. I told you in the beginning, this is a great story. Great comeback. Karma. It's got everything. So to the guy who wrote this, man, I'm really proud of you. Awesome job. Just keep doing what you're doing. Be careful with your rotation and Tinderellas. You screw just one time, and you got to deal with a freaking baby and child support. Just be careful there. But this is great. Keep focusing on your purpose. I know keep enjoying your life. Have some balance, but I want you to keep moving forward. Do the best you can. Save money. Invest it. And the sky's the limit to your future, man. And guys, for those of you that are watching this, if you've ever been dumped, I want you to use that pain, that hurt that the girl dumped you for some other guy and you weren't quite where you wanted to be or where you're meant to be just yet. Use that to push yourself forward. But don't just do it to get even with her. Do it for yourself, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to make these things happen for yourself, where you want to be in life, better position, making more money, whatever, great health, whatever. You got to do it for yourself. And whatever it takes to motivate you, use it. And you can get there, okay? This guy is a perfect example. And look what happened to her. All right? She blew it. This is a typical situation. I guarantee you, there are guys all over the world that are going to watch this video and have been in this exact situation or know someone this happened to. And it is a satisfying feeling when you go through hell and you turn things around, because you appreciate it more. When you have to bust your ass to make something of yourself and you finally get there and you're doing well, just you really appreciate it more, and you're humble because you know what it takes to go through it, and overnight success doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while. And so, and especially when somebody mistreats you like that, and to see that they screwed up and now you're doing well, people may say I'm an asshole for taking joy in that, but I don't care. I would be laughing every time she would send me a text. So anyhow, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.